My name's John Badesky. I have the privilege of serving Hanover County as County Administrator, and I want to welcome you here today to this groundbreaking. This momentous occasion will really kick off Hanover County's commitment to our residents to provide high-speed internet throughout Hanover County. Today, we begin that journey on the eastern side of the county. Over the next 18 to 24 months, we will complete connections to approximately 95% of Hanover County. Hanover County's commitment to our residents is to serve 100%. This is not done without a great deal of partnership, many years of planning and efforts, and really want to recognize that we do have some members that have been long-serving on our broadband advisory committees with us today. We have dignitaries that I'll recognize here shortly, but today, the most important person is a resident of Hanover County. We make that commitment to get high-speed internet to some of the areas most in need in our county. This wouldn't be done without a commitment from your Board of Supervisors. Today, I'd like to recognize our Chair, Sue Dibble. And right here in his district, our Vice Chair, Mr. Michael Herzberg. And Sean Davis from the Henry District. Thank you. This project is bolstered by the support of our state representatives, and I really like to welcome and thank Senator Ryan McDougall for all your support with this project over the years. We have a number of partners with us, from our utility providers, from Dominion Power to Rappahannock Electric, that will make this project come to life. I'd also like to recognize our Commonwealth Attorney is here with us today, Mackenzie Babichenko. Thank you for joining us here this morning. I'm extremely proud of our team from County Administration and IT that are leading this effort on behalf of the county. I'd like to recognize Deputy County Administrator Todd Kilduff and IT Director Kevin Nelson for all of their efforts on this project. Today, we will break ground on a project that will serve over 400 miles of internet throughout Hanover County, and approximately 7,000 residents will benefit from this project. Today, we are learning of the All Points expansion and project, but when we talk about Connect Hanover, we're talking about a commitment and partnership with many entities that provide internet. But none any more important than that with All Points that we celebrate here today. I'd like to thank All Points for your commitment to Hanover County and to the residents that we are proud to serve. I'd like to first begin today's recognition by inviting Senator Ryan McDougall to share some words. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And John, thank you for your leadership on this project as well. When we look at some of the challenges facing our country and our Commonwealth and here locally, we really saw through the pandemic how important it is for individuals to have access to the internet. They need it for work, they need it for school. My daughter's at Bell Creek Elementary right now, which I'm going to leave here and run over there, and they need it for things like medical appointments and being able to communicate. And that we knew it was important, but the pandemic highlighted how vitally key it was for us to have that accessible for all Hanoverians. We took an idea that was first formulated in southwestern Virginia and took a pilot project and moved it to the entire Commonwealth. And Hanover is one of the fastest growing jurisdictions to take advantage of this cooperation between state government, local government, our service providers that provide electricity, and from providers that provide internet access. It is that combination of public and private groups coming together that makes this a reality. I'm excited that we talked about this for over 4 years ago, that we've been able to put it in action, and now we will see all Hanoverians at the end of this project have access to technology so that they can work, educate their children, and be able to live productive lives. Thank you for each of your parts in making this a reality. And thank you for your commitment, particularly from the county, of being forceful in pushing Hanover forward as one of the real leaders in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's my privilege to be able to introduce our chairman of the board, Sue Dibble. I'd quip with her, Sue, welcome to the best part of the county here in the East. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the county's participation and leadership in this project.
Thank you, Senator McDougall, and what a blessing it is to be represented by someone like Senator McDougall that truly loves Hanover County and has served our county well and is so supportive of all that we do, and especially being here today. Thank you, sir, for taking your time. But today I'm here to speak as the chairman of the board, and what a beautiful day it is to be the chairman of this board, because we've been looking forward to this moment for quite some time. So our journey to bring reliable, high-speed internet to every corner of Hanover County has been a shared vision. And it's especially been a shared vision of mine and my colleague, Michael Herzberg. We joined this board together 5 years ago, and collectively, our #1 priority was internet. And we just simply held hands, kicking and screaming, kept talking about it until finally we found a way forward. So thank you, Michael, for all of your efforts. And I also have to say thank you, especially to our staff and our leader, John Brodesky. Without John's commitment to listening to his board, who listens to the people of Hanover County, we would never be here. John found a way with his team to bring this to reality. So thank you, John, for your leadership. So what makes today very special for us, it isn't just the technology and the miles of fiber, it's the spirit of collaboration that brought us here. The project has taken the dedication of our leaders in conjunction with our partners, especially All Points Broadband, Dominion Energy, and Rappahannock Electric, and especially our community members, all working on this to bring this day to fruition. And when I believe, and I say it all the time, when we work together, there's no challenge too big for Hanover County. And this effort is more than just about wires and cables. It's making sure that every home, every business, and every school in our county can thrive in today's digital world. High-speed internet will blow open the doors for education, business, and everyday life for the people in our community. A heartfelt thank you to all of you who are joining us here today, who believed in this vision and worked with us to make today possible. Together, we are building a stronger Hanover, more connected and ready for the future. Thank you all again for being here. And now I'd like to turn it over to my partner in crime from the Cold Harbor District, my Vice Chair, Mr. Michael Herzberg.
Well, thank you very much for that introduction, Mrs. Dibble. This may be the biggest thing that's ever happened in Old Church. Well, welcome to Old Church, everyone. My name is Michael Herzberg. I represent the Cold Harbor District on the Hanover County Board of Supervisors. And first, appreciation for my state senator, Senator Ryan McDougall. And in addition, our delegate is not here today, also my delegate, Scott Wyatt, for their work at the General Assembly, because without their work and without their support, there'd be no funding and we would not be here today. So thank you very much. Also would like to recognize Scott Wyatt. He served on the board before I did, and one of the last things that he did, along with Supervisor Sean Davis, was to support the formation of the Broadband Advisory Committee, which Mrs. Proctor was willing to serve on for our Cold Harbor District. And thanks to a lot of good work that was done by that committee, we turned out about a 100-page document. When I started on the board, we used that as our blueprint for a path to bring high-speed internet throughout Hanover County. I've said before, I believe that the United States is the greatest country in the history of the world. I also believe Hanover is the best place to live. But we do have a gap, and this work today helps to fill that gap. You know, as we know, we have some people who don't have access to high-speed internet. This work will help fill that gap and bring something to those residents to make Hanover an even better place to live than it is now. Right up the road, on Old Church Road, I have a constituent. We have a constituent formerly in the Hendry District, now in the Cold Harbor District, Mr. Anthony Abate. And Anthony is legally blind. And for the last 5 years, he's called me every 2 or every 3 months saying, Michael, do you have an update on the internet? Michael, what's going on with the internet? What's going on? And I've probably received about 20 phone calls from this gentleman. And it's important for somebody like Anthony because he's legally blind. He can't just get in the car and drive to the doctor. So one thing that will help him and others will be able to have his routine medical visits virtually on the internet, provided by All Points Broadband. So about 3 months ago, I had a great opportunity to actually call Anthony and say, hey, Anthony, just want to let you know that Dominion Energy just installed the middle mile fiber down Old Church Road right in front of your house. And of course, he was enthused. I also want to say thanks to Dominion. I see Dominion, I've seen them work. I don't check on their work or anything, but as I've been driving down 360 and Old Church Road and McClellan and Flanagan Mill, I saw the trucks out. They were professionally installing the middle mile fiber, and that work has been completed. So thank you very much. And with that, I would like to introduce Mr. Ed Diggs, Dominion Energy. Thank you very much.
All right, as far as the most exciting thing at Community Church Center, my youngest son, we were here about 10 years ago playing baseball right back there against some Mechanicsville team. So they thought it was much more exciting than probably most of us today. But anyways, why are we here? I mean, broadband into the rural communities. I mean, it's been a challenge for all of us. It's been a journey. And sitting here today, Tom Ennis, Jimmy Carr, myself, some members of DHCD, it's been about 5 years now, right after legislation was created here in Virginia that enabled investor-owned utilities like Dominion Energy to partner. And next thing you know, we're talking about, well, how can we get broadband out to rural Virginia? And Jimmy had lots of ideas. And so I will tell you, we probably wouldn't be as far along today if not for the passion that Jimmy's had and his team. And of course, it's been great working with them. But Dominion Energy, we're an electric utility first. And so we had to press the brakes a few times, and Jimmy wasn't too happy about that. But we've made a lot of progress in the last 4.5 years. A number of projects approved through the State Corporation Commission, and Hanover, of course, is one of them. We're done with our construction here, and we're doing some splicing, but we're making great progress. But from Dominion Energy's perspective, we're thrilled to see the progress. We're just excited about being able to partner with All Points, with the county, Rappahannock Electric. I mean, it really does take a team to make this happen. And we just want to give our heartfelt thanks to everybody, and especially our community, for just being patient with us as we work through this process. It's not just building the middle mile, it's all the engineering and behind the scenes work that goes into place to make that happen. So again, thank you, and we look forward to completing the project here in Hanover. I think I'm supposed to turn it over to Mr. Bill Curtis with the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development. Thank you, sir.
Well, good morning. I'm, yes, of course, Bill Curtis, and I'm the Assistant Director at the Department of Housing and Community Development. And I bring greetings from our Director, Brian Horn, and of course, whom many of you know, Dr. Tamara Holmes. She couldn't be here. If she was, she'd be buzzing all over the room right now, and that's her nature, right? Talking to everyone. Well, I am not Dr. Holmes, so I'm not buzzing, but I will bring just a few thoughts to you. First of all, I'd like to say, yesterday this time, or a little bit later, I was up in Fairfax near George Mason doing a dedication of a new, just tremendous facility up there, a housing facility. And I congratulated them on living right because the weather was spectacular. I'd like to say the same thing here, but this is slipping fast here, okay? So I don't know, but it's still a nice day, and I'm glad to be here. I see a few familiar faces because I've done this before in different areas, and I couldn't be more delighted than to share something this important with everyone. First of all, I'd like to say, Senator, I just want to thank you because Hanoverians, I never knew. Now I know. That's how I refer to you, as Hanoverians, okay? just never knew that. Everyone refers to themselves differently, but that's official, so you got it. Just a few comments to share with you. It's no secret, even before the pandemic, that there was a need for improved broadband access. And, but in a world that went digital almost overnight, access to broadband became a necessity for participating in everyday life. Suddenly, everything from telehealth to, as we've mentioned earlier, to education, to e-commerce and telework required internet access, putting into even starker terms the work that needed to be done to close that digital divide. Thankfully, Virginia has been investing in the expansion of last-mile broadband networks in unserved areas since 2017 through Virginia's largest broadband expansion program, the VADI, Virginia Telecommunications Initiative. To date, VADI has invested over $850 million, which has been matched by over $1 billion, with a B, in resources from units of local governments in partnership with broadband providers to connect over 388,000 homes, businesses, and community anchors within 80 localities. Funding from that initial year has grown from $1 million in 2017 to $722 million in 2021 alone, and including over $13 million for the project that we are here to celebrate today. I see up here it says 13.9, so I'm off a little bit, okay? And to that $13 million was further leveraged by additional matching funds, over $25 million from the private sector and over $15 million from Hanover County. Now, that is the largest match from any county in the history of VADI, so you all ought to be proud of yourselves. With the help of these efforts and more, the project will continue to connect more than 6,000 of Hanover's locations, including 54 businesses and community anchors, to high-speed broadband, transforming the communities by letting them fully participate in our 21st century world. A remarkable achievement indeed. And I want to recognize Hanover County for not only recognizing the importance of this project, but for committing wholeheartedly to its material success with the largest fund matching from any locality, local government in the history of VADI. And this project would not have been possible without your aid and support. And I also want to recognize All Points Broadband. And I've seen you in many, many places over the past couple of years, for being an outstanding partner throughout this process and for building 556 miles of fiber in support of this project. Today's achievement only cements our commitment to bringing affordable, reliable, high-speed internet to every unserved and underserved household, business, and community anchor in the Commonwealth. Earlier this year, our agency announced our latest round of awarded VADI projects and the acceptance of our Broadband Equity Access and Deployment BEAD initial proposal, Volume 2 by the NTIA. And by the way, Virginia is still the leader in the nation with broadband. We're so excited to announce these plans, which outline our ongoing plan to close the digital divide across the Commonwealth. Through such partnerships, we know good things can happen through collaboration, and we look forward to continuing work together, connect all Virginians, and celebrate achievements like this one. So this is tremendous. my pleasure to be here, and I know that Director Horn and, of course, Dr. Holmes would love to be here to share with you, but this is your achievement, and, of course, my goodness, the county providing so much in the resource area is just, I guess, is standalone. You stand out. So congratulations, and I know that you have many, many citizens here who are going to thoroughly appreciate what you've done. This is what elected officials are supposed to do. Work with everyone to try and pull these things together so that you can realize benefits for the citizenry. So thank you for having me, and again, congratulations. So if I'm reading this correctly, I need to introduce Christy Proctor, okay, who is the Executive Director of the Virginia Rural Center.
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Appreciate it. Nice to see you too, sir. Hi there. Hi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Christy Proctor, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Virginia Rural Center, which was an entity created by the Virginia legislature about 20 years ago to ensure that rural Virginia has a seat at the table. My organization works with the governor's administration, legislators, local government, businesses, and rural stakeholders to ensure that rural Virginia can thrive and prosper to its full potential. While today is certainly a professional celebration for many, as someone who was born and raised right here in Eastern Hanover County and also still proud to live here in Old Church, this is a historic moment for me personally and one that I will not soon forget. You know, I told my husband after he proposed to me that if he wanted my hand in marriage, he needed to be willing to relocate to Old Church. Of course, then we walked down the aisle after he said he would do that. Thankfully, he did agree. I'm proud to say that I recruited a boy from Shenandoah area of Virginia, right here in the Cold Harbor Magisterial District. We live within almost walking distance of where we are gathered at this moment, and of course, that means we currently do not have broadband, but today marks a new beginning. It is difficult and almost impossible for many to imagine life without the internet. Yet folks like us have been living without broadband all of these years. As our family has grown, the lack of fiber in our area has become a huge challenge and thrown many curveballs our way. We currently have 3 young children. Our oldest, Savannah, is here with me today because I wanted her to witness this historic moment. Savannah is currently in 4th grade at Battlefield Park, but she started her elementary education in a private school out in Essex County. Her kindergarten year happened during COVID, and we were concerned that Hanover might not remain face-to-face during those unprecedented times. And because we live in an unserved area, we felt that we needed to make the unexpected decision that gave our children the best chance of having a face-to-face education, as virtual school was not an option. It was certainly not in our plans to send a child to private school, but it was necessary to survive in a world without high-speed internet in your home. Additionally, the thought of fiber coming to Old Church means that I will no longer need to worry as much about my mother, who lives with us, growing old at our house. Fiber will bring new opportunities for her and for our aging population with telehealth opportunities and online support resources as she ages in our home. There is immense work that has been done to close the digital divide, and when we are all hooked up with fiber to the home, it will be life-changing for East Hanover. As mentioned earlier, public-private partnerships have been a key component of this success, and I appreciate the support and the leadership from my supervisor, Michael Hersberg, along with the Hanover County Board of Supervisors members and county administration for their commitment, investment, and partnership. All Points Broadband, Dominion Energy, and Rappahannock Electric Cooperative, as they have all worked here to get us to this point. Also, we owe a great deal of gratitude to Senator McDougall and Delegate Wyatt for their support in the legislature, along with Delegate Fowler, and the governor's administration and DHCD, who are all working tirelessly to close the digital divide. Thank you to everyone who played a role in making sure that rural Virginians are not left behind. I'm grateful for the connection and the progress happening today. And it is now my absolute pleasure to introduce Jimmy Carr, who's the CEO of All Points Broadband. Jimmy and I have been serving together on the State Advisory Broadband Council for some time, and I'm sure he's going to be excited not to have me bugging him anymore about when this is happening for Old Church.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm conscious that I'm the last speaker on the program, and between us and a great photo op out front. So I'll be brief. My role at these is to just talk a little bit about the constellation of partners that are required to do something that 5 or 6 years ago everyone said couldn't be done. Our reason for existing at All Points is to empower communities by bringing utility-grade broadband to places that don't have it. We do that through usually extraordinarily complex partnerships involving the state, local, federal governments, the private sector, several other utilities. And as you can see from the partners listed on the board over there, that's exactly what we've done here in Hanover. All of the partners on this project played a very critical role. I want to start by thanking our electric utility partners, Dominion Energy and Rappahannock Electric Cooperative. Rappahannock is working with us in their service territory on the western side of the county, and I know Mark Roy and Mark Ponton and Corey Smith are here. I want to recognize these are the guys who are getting it done every day. All of the work, the sexy part of building fiber is actually hanging fiber. The most time-consuming, the most difficult thing is all the infrastructure, all the work that has to happen before there. And so Mark and Corey at Rappahannock Electric Cooperative and the joint use team at Dominion are the folks who are actually out doing the hugely important and complicated work that is necessary to bring us to much more exciting days like today. So I want to thank REC and Dominion for what they're doing. Great example, when you go back out to 360, depending on which way you came, take a look at all those brand new looking utility poles. That's make ready. That's something we're going through. When you see all those H-shaped coil, the brackets on the pole with the big loops of black cable around it, that's fiber. So as of today, there's the 54 miles of middle mile fiber that this network will rely on the eastern part of the county has been constructed. All Points is now beginning to release last mile construction to our vendors. There's a splicing, another something you might see if you're heading back up towards 360. There's a splicing trailer sitting by the side of the road, so that work is going on. Pretty soon you will start to see contractors out here, white lining utilities, 811 locates, and the thing that everyone can't wait for, which is actually connecting the last mile home to the network. That's what we're marking the beginning of today. A lot has been said about Hanover County and its commitment to this project. I was not aware, Bill, of that statistic, but that's a new one I will start using. Hanover County has contributed more match to broadband in its county than any other county in Virginia. I can tell you our business is public-private partnerships. We deal with a whole lot of counties. At the staff level in Hanover with Kevin Nelson and Todd Kilduff, they are actively involved, I would say more than pretty much any other, they're at the very top of the day-to-day involvement of county staff members helping to identify obstacles and take care of them. Of all of the counties and all the county administrators I have the opportunity to interact with, I can tell you without hyperbole or exaggeration that John Badesky is the county administrator who is most intimately involved and aware of what's going on. He has been part of this process since Zoom or team calls during the pandemic to come up with the best way to put together a VADI application that would be successful. And so kudos to John, you and your team and the entire Hanover County Board of Supervisors. You all have made a major investment here, and you're extremely well supported by John and his team. So thank you, John. This project could not be possible without the support of the Department of Housing and Community Development. Bill is here. I see Jim Illicette in the back, who works with us on this project and a number of others. Under Governor Youngkin's leadership, Virginia continues to make bridging the digital divide a major priority. We also have a broadband office that is recognized as the clear national leader. We've been doing broadband expansion in Virginia since before it was cool. And together, the private sector, the utility providers, and the state, with the support of the state legislature, have learned a lot. We've got a well-refined program that's continuously tweaked, and it is a national model. This is a truly bipartisan thing. He's not here today. I know that a member of his team is, but our congressional delegation, both sides of the aisle in Washington, D.C., are extremely active in advocating for broadband. In particular, Senator Mark Warner is an absolute champion for Virginia and making sure that we get every available nickel that needs to come back to Virginia and projects like this so that we can complete the job of expanding broadband to rural Virginia. Here, closer to home in the General Assembly, there is no better friend and advocate for broadband than Senator Ryan McDougall. He has been intimately involved in this project as has his colleague, Delegate Scott Wyatt, who could not be here today because he had a money committee retreat elsewhere in the state, which is also very important for Hanover. But Ryan and Scott together have been actively engaged on not just this project and projects in the area, but understanding broadband, what the challenges are at a statewide level, and being advocates for changes to laws and policies that are necessary for Virginia to go at the pace we're trying to go, whether that's improving the make-ready process, dealing with undergrounding and locates, or railroad permitting. Virginia has been a national leader in identifying issues and getting ahead of them, and that's leaders like Ryan who have made broadband a priority, and we really appreciate all the work that you've done, Senator. I'm so glad that I was preceded by Christy Proctor, the head of the Rural Center, who I do usually sit next to at state broadband meetings, and I'm so glad that we're starting here in her neighborhood in Old Church in Hanover County. And I look forward to her being, Christy is a thought leader on broadband and on rural issues in Virginia, obviously, and I can't wait for her to also be an All Points broadband customer. I may come to that install myself. And so, you know, again, this is a great example of an extraordinarily complex public-private partnership. It's a major infrastructure initiative. And what we're doing today, what we're marking today, is this century's equivalent of electrifying the countryside. It never goes as fast as you want. It's never as easy, but it is happening, and we've got there because we have a team of dedicated partners who have been willing to figure it out and get it done and make the investments required. So I want to thank all the partners who are here today and everything that you've done, and invite everyone outside to grab a shovel and take a photo to commemorate this really great occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. We really value this partnership greatly. As we bring today's event to close, I just want to thank all the residents that are here with us today or that will see this. Thank you for your patience. This has been a project that has been long in the works, and as we wrap, it is now time to deliver on our commitments. It's time to deliver what we promised our residents, and beginning in February, those connections will begin with All Points Broadband. We're excited to see that. We will be welcoming you back to future occasions to celebrate those milestones, but our commitment is to make sure that All Points delivers on their promises and that Hanover County meets what you expect and deliver on our promises. Thank you for coming. We will start with groundbreaking out in front of the All Points van. We'll start with the speakers, the Board of Supervisors, elected officials, and partners. We'll take multiple photos as we wrap up here today. So thanks everybody for coming.